Once upon a time, on the enchanting island of Quirktopia, there lived a quirky little quokka named Quigley. Quigley was no ordinary quokka. He had a mischievous twinkle in his eyes and a spring in his step. One day, while exploring the vibrant streets of Quirkville, Quigley stumbled upon a mysterious door hidden behind a rainbow-colored wall. Unable to resist his curious nature, Quigley pushed the door open and found himself in a room filled with peculiar objects. There were talking teacups, floating books, and a clock that ticked backward. But the most extraordinary thing in the room was a sparkly purple hat floating mid-air. Quigley, being the adventurous quokka he was, decided to try on the hat. As soon as he placed it on his head, he felt a surge of magical energy. The hat whisked him away to a land filled with fluffy marshmallow clouds and candy-coated trees. In this whimsical land, Quigley met a group of eccentric creatures called the Gigglefluffs. They had rainbow-colored fur, wings made of cotton candy, and the ability to speak in rhyme. The Gigglefluffs welcomed Quigley with open arms and introduced him to their leader, Sir Snickerdoodle, a wise old owl with a penchant for silly jokes. Sir Snickerdoodle explained that the land of Gigglefluffia was in dire need of laughter. The once joyful place had been plagued by a gloomy spell cast by the grumpy Gloom, an evil sorcerer. The Gigglefluffs had been trying to break the spell, but they needed someone with a mischievous spirit like Quigley to bring back the laughter. Quigley agreed to help and devised a plan to outwit the grumpy Gloom. With his newfound hat, Quigley could conjure up the most outrageous jokes. He gathered the Gigglefluffs, and together they set off to find the grumpy Gloom's lair. As they journeyed through marshmallow bogs and ticklish forests, they encountered peculiar creatures like the Gigglepuffins and the laughing llamas. Each step of the way, Quigley unleashed his silliest jokes, causing everyone to burst into contagious laughter. Finally, they reached the grumpy Gloom's lair, a dark cave filled with grumpy goblins. The Gigglefluffs disguised themselves as grumpy goblins, too, while Quigley snuck behind the sorcerer and whispered his funniest joke into his ear. The grumpy Gloom couldn't resist the laughter, and the spell was broken. The land of Gigglefluffia was once again filled with joy and laughter. Quigley bid farewell to his new friends, promising to return whenever they needed him. As he wore the magical hat once more, it transported him back to the room behind the rainbow-colored wall. Quigley realized that his mischievous nature had led him on the most extraordinary adventure, where laughter triumphed over gloom. From that day forward, Quigley dedicated himself to spreading joy wherever he went, making the world a brighter and happier place. And so, dear children, whenever you visit Quirkville, keep an eye out for Quigley the Quokka. Who knows what whimsical and hilarious misadventures await you in his extraordinary company.